Hey, great Friday evening. It is a beautiful day in the city of Brownsville, and I'm going to guess that it might be a beautiful evening in the city of Washington D.C.
I wish it was a wonderful evening. We're expecting a polar, some polar type of storm actually coming into the area tonight.
Wow.
So
I, I hear that y'all expect to get a lot of rain out there.
yeah, we've been receiving a lot of rain. It was very cloudy today, and tomorrow all day it's going to be in the low 30s, which is not normal for DC at this time of year. So yeah.
Well, it's thank you so much, friends. Just to let y'all know, many people here from Brownsville know Andrea Torres, Brownsville folk.
Yes.
Brownsville up in Washington D.C.
Yes, Brownsville native, graduated from UTRGV, graduated from Bex. So if you can change the background to Bex, I would appreciate it. Just don't stay out there.
I can surely try and do that for you in the middle of all this. I promise. I love Bex. One of the things about Bex that I think is very, very amazing. And I visited Bex several times. I think that for individuals that are geared to that academics part of it, Bex is the school for them to be at. And I really appreciate everything that our amazing teachers and personnel do out there at Bex. A great, great, great program.
Yeah, they've been in existence for 10, over 10 years now, which is a great school. Yeah.
Yeah, they've been there for a while. I'm actually not sure exactly how long, but they have been there for a while. So thank you for coming on with us tonight, Andrea.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me.
Wait, is the last place that we ran into each other, was that the principal?
Yeah, it was no. Well, that we ran into each other and actually talked, it was a principal for the day.
Principal
it was. Yes, yeah. It was in early 2019. Yeah.
Yeah, it was at I can't, it's that little place that used to be Hooters, but now it's a Rio something.
The Rio Event Center, I believe. That's
that one.
Yeah.
But it's good to see you again, even if it's via this measure, Andrea. Thank you for coming on tonight.
Of course.
And with us tonight, of course, we have Frankie. Frankie, how you doing, man?
How's it going, Erasmo? Good evening, Andrea. How's it going, world? It's been a very eventful Friday in the city of Brownsville. Woke up to a lot of information. So we should have a great show for this evening, and it's a great thing to hear from one of our friends who's currently in Washington D.C. So thank you so much, Andrea, for being with us tonight.
Yeah, of course. I was secretly telling myself, like, when are these guys having me on? I'm not gonna. But no, it's a pleasure having being here with you guys.
Guys, great evening. I don't know if I'm the one that's lagging out here or if someone else is lagging, but it might be me. So y'all let us know, guys. Unless I'm hearing things again, but it's Friday night, so es viernes y Erasmo lo sabe. Guys, let's go into what we just learned right now. Actually, let's just go in straight at it. We did receive the numbers for the Cameron County, and Frankie was going to get them up for us if you can. Hola, Maria. Bex is the best. Hey, Albert is out there in Bex.
Go Scorpions.
And it's having a hard lagging. Is it lagging on y'all's end as well, or just my end?
I'm fine on my end.
I'm fine on my end too.
Maybe it's me that's lagging then, guys. Sounds fine. Okay.
Yeah, we're good.
Good. Awesome. And are the numbers up, or is it just?
Yes, we're up. I have here on the screen the latest Cameron County press release that was just recently issued. And Andrea and Erasmo, we have 2 additional deaths added to the total. An 87-year-old an 87 male, and a 90-year-old male from Windsor Atrium Nursing Home have passed away, giving Cameron County a total of 22 deaths. Today, also, we have 11 additional COVID-19 positive cases, and very interestingly, Erasmo and Andrea, a 4-month-old female comes out. And again, we have to remember Dr. Eder Hernandez had previously spoken or had previously posted on his page in regards to him coming across the youngest case for the county. So, we do have confirmation of what Dr. Eder Hernandez would talked about. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from the city of Brownsville, 4 individuals from Harlingen, and 2 from Los Fresnos, bringing the total count to 494 positives for Cameron County.
Yeah, that is very, very sad. Again, we've been mentioning it for a while in regards to the individual that we had already been told that was, probably the youngest individual out there. And again, the numbers are very, very telling. One of the things that we had made mention, one of the things that we've been saying for a while is, we constantly hear that it's getting a lot of individuals, that are a little bit older for us. But guys, it's not just a viejito type of thing. It's going to be affecting everyone at any age out there, especially those individuals with the, with their immunodeficiency up to par. And again, Andrea, what are the numbers? What do they represent to you?
So to me, this is something that I've sort of like been bouncing off in my head personally, and with friends of mine from the Valley. And I personally think that the great restrictions and all the implementation of the policies that the city that the county did early on really allowed for you all and your population and the Valley in itself to see a number that is not so how should I say it? It doesn't increase as much as we've seen in the East Coast, right? And the New York area, and even in here in the DC area. So I think personally it's fine right now that there aren't that many positives. However, I know that there is a lack of testing, which is something that it's not at the fault of the city, it's not at the fault of the. Is that a name? No.
That was mine.
Ooh. So I know it's not at the fault of the city or the county, but when is the state moving forward with all of these increasing of testing? So that's how I interpret it. I'm glad that there aren't that many cases. If you'd like to know sort of a number of what we have in DC, right now we have 5,899 positives in DC with 304 deaths and 825 recovered. So these are just numbers that are barely increasing. We haven't seen numbers as New York, but I am expecting a bit of a bump in May. So I don't know where we stand right now. We'll see.
Well, I'm glad that at least some of us somewhere in the country aren't doing that bad. Unfortunately for us, we cannot say the same here in the city of Brownsville. I think one of the things that I noticed is that one of the individuals from Harlingen, we're getting four more individuals from Harlingen. One of the things that we could tell from the people in Harlingen is that they're not out of the woods yet. And what it is one more individual that can be added on to the veranda number. So the 86-year-old that's mentioned here in the Harlingen numbers is an individual that is now, out there in veranda. So again, those numbers continue to go up. They haven't plateaued and haven't started to go down. And that is very, very concerning. That is very concerning for the city of Brownsville because they're our neighbors. They're right next door. They're just right here, cerquita de todos nosotros. But besides that, it should be concerning to all of us here in the city of Brownsville because as of yesterday, I think yesterday we learned that one of our nursing homes,
the Spanish
Spanish Meadows, had an individual also out there test positive. And I don't know if y'all got to see it on the news clipping that came out at the Brownsville Herald, but it was someone that was at Spanish Meadows, and then once they tested positive, they sent him back out to the hospital, or someone who had come in from the hospital. So all this transportation going back and forth, I'm just not understanding how that could be beneficial to anyone in our area. It just doesn't make sense. Now, my greatest concerns and my greatest concerns in regards to all of that is that how, and I was making mention of that to someone today at Walmart,
how our numbers again have not plateaued like in Harlingen. We keep on seeing that upward scale in regards to the individuals that are coming out and testing positive. I mean, is that not concerning? Have y'all plateaued up there in Washington?
We're barely hitting. We're almost getting to our peak. We're expecting our peak to be in around the first weeks of June, and that's in the East Coast. So that's another thing that I've told my friends. I'm like, I don't understand how you all in the Valley and even in Texas are expecting or are already are expected to have passed the peak when we haven't even done it completely here in the East Coast, and we were some of the first that were really hit hard. It's just something that I have very mixed feelings about. I'm not mostly feelings of concern. I know one of the things that I'm really praying for, it doesn't really affect it, are the graduations. I don't know if we'll go into talking about that, but that's another mixed feeling that I have on that. So,
Frankie, what do you think about the numbers and how they're continuing to go up?
We've been told time and time again how this virus is something new to the medical experts. They are still trying to gather information in regards to the cure and different remedies in regards to mitigating and trying to cure people from this virus. It's very interesting that we see counties like Cameron and Hidalgo who are in the high 300 to 400s. And we have yet to see this peak reach. And we've heard, time and time again that the experts have designated the first or second week of May of being the highest hit in our area. So again, we've been hearing from time to time now how the medical experts feel that this virus is either growing or it's mutating or it's getting stronger, and they have extended that time of saying that this is the peak. And we just heard from Andrea, her situation on the East Coast in Washington D.C., where they have yet to hit that peak. I think New York is just coming down from the mass casualties that they've been having at an alarming rate. But we have cases such as the nursing homes that has had 21 out of the 22 deaths here for Cameron County. We previously spoke about the Spanish Meadows. So is Brownsville on the brink of an outbreak here, such as Harlingen? Only time will tell. But as of right now, Erasmo and Andrea, we don't see the drop in numbers. So should we hear, our county judge and our local medical doctors state that the peak is not gonna occur for another couple weeks? Again, this is something that is very new to everybody. So it's a wait and see game, unfortunately, because we still don't have all those answers. And again, we have cases that have been creeping up lately. We just got word, and we'll talk more into this in regards to supermarkets employees being contracting this virus. So again, we have this constant flow of people still going out into society and still transmitting this virus, guys.
I agree with Antonio. Need more testing. We definitely need more testing to get an accurate assessment of our situation. I mean, I completely agree. One of the things that we've gone back on and tried to remind people out there was that, I mean, you may think, oh well, we've tested 2,000 people or 2,500 people. If that's the count. That's still not 10% of the population of the city of Brownsville. And you're talking about 2,500 individuals that might have been tested. And I'm giving out a number because I think it's much lower than that. 2,500 individuals that have been tested in the county. So, I mean, that is just very, very shocking. I tend to agree with Antonio in regards to the testing. Question: if the governor says that there will be no arrest for businesses opening, shelter in place, pretty much everything that is going on, does that mean that the court order from Judge Trevino gets void? I think there's no more court order anymore. What they're trying to do is adhere to the STEP program, to the different phases that the governor has set out there in regards to the opening of business, which include everything except bars. And y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but I know that hairstylists, tanning salons, and nail nail places. I don't know what those places are called. I had never gone, but the nail places they're already open. They opened actually today, and by what I'm seeing on Frankie's screen, I know for a fact that he didn't go, and I didn't go either. I just put on a lot of gel. But again, guys, is that the what's opening up on what's the next thing to open up? Oh,
The gyms.
the gyms. Gyms open up on the 18th. So again, they're slowly starting to open now. And Andrea, what's your opinion in regards to us opening up these places?
No. What's the point? Just like the school district, what's the point? I mean, that's as simple as it can be. Here in DC, our mayor is not following as what the governors of Maryland and Virginia are. Just to give you a brief background for those that don't know, DC is not technically under any state. It's its own territory, I guess, in a way. So we have a mayor that oversees pretty much all of our government, right? And so that mayor pretty much coordinates with the Maryland and the Virginia governors, and the Maryland and Virginia governors are all for reopening by the end of the month. And our mayor said, no, what's the point of just a couple hours ago, she said, I saw in a news brief, what's the point of opening up eateries, restaurants, if the increase keeps going? I mean, just over 24 hours, we saw about 300 more cases. So there is no reason. I mean, we have technology. We have things that allow us to, if you want to order out. But there is no reason why, in my opinion, you should be opening these things, right? I'll give you an example of some friends of mine and even my boyfriend. They found a way to just, cut their hair. And it sounds funny and it looks actually kind of choppy, but that doesn't matter right now. Where are you going? Who do you need to impress? Like, you're just going to be teleconferencing most of the time if you were allowed to teleconference for your work. At the end of the day, these businesses are very important. I'll give you that. I have family members that work in these type of businesses. However, for the safety of people, it shouldn't be opened. So
I think we're opening a little bit way too fast. And I think what's even more impressive here in the city of Brownsville, a lot of small businesses have actually agreed. And they said it's just too soon. And they have opted not to open their doors. I want to get to the next question. Almost 80% of COVID-19 patients required hospitalization who listed employment have been critically infrastructure workers, including healthcare, first responders, transportation workers, food, agricultural workers. According to the county health officials, about half of those hospitalizations with COVID-19 did not have high-risk chronic health conditions, according to health officials. Yeah. But we have a 4-month-old. So we got a 4-month-old, and I'm not sure that the 4-month-old had a degree in any type of nursing or any other type of thing. But again, I don't know. It's just the COVID-19 is so novel.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what the individuals out there are saying. It is so novel that we just do not know. There's a lot of different cases. I think New York was talking about how now young individuals, are starting to have health issues in regards to their heart problems. Mentioned how a 5-year-old had passed away as well. Guys, it's like we're learning as we go along. But while we're in the process of learning, is it wise to continue to open up everything at fast pace?
No. And I'll give you an idea, just to give you an idea of ages. In DC, we have sort of like almost a split between a really young population and a really old one. And a lot of majority of our positive cases are between the ages of 31 and 40. And then the other half that are really the second majority number is between 51 and 60. So, I mean, I don't know what those number tells you, but it tells me that all people can be easily affected. So don't be visiting grandma, even though you're tempted to visit grandma. I wish I was my grandma.
I agree with Antonio. I mean, Antonio, that makes so much sense. The ratio of positive tests versus total tests is way too high, which means that we are only testing individuals with symptoms. That is exactly right. And the issue with a lot of the individuals here in the city of Brownsville and Harlingen, and I mean, even in Matamoros, man, in Matamoros, for weeks now, they were coming out that they had 6 cases or 4 or 5 cases. And, we even had Dr. Joan Rodriguez here, and we said those numbers are dead wrong, impossible. And all of a sudden, boom, everything started to explode, and you started to see that map that they had where they started to pinpoint all the different cases out there. And we learned that actually those numbers were very, very incorrect. And now that they're testing more individuals, and more individuals are passing away in Matamoros because of the lack of resources, is that their numbers are shooting up way high. Now, that should be very concerning to us because Frankie posted up there, I think he shared someone's video or pictures that they'd taken at the bridge. And we still have tons of individuals who are coming over from Matamoros. And yeah, we're not getting residents, or we're not getting visitors or travelers from Mexico coming into the United States. But we do have a lot of American citizens that live in Matamoros who are constantly coming back and forth. What is and Matamoros is so concerned with it that they check you every single time you cross the bridge. If anyone has temperature, anyone showing any type of symptoms that they have any doubts on, they'll send them back across. We are not doing that at all. Do we need to start?
I would dare say yes. We do have that constant flow of individuals coming to and from. And we hear how Tamaulipas has also had a high increase in positive cases. I think yesterday they're at 150. And one thing I want to mention before I forget, guys, the Texas Bar and Nightclub Alliance is encouraging bars throughout Texas to host a soft reopening on Friday, May 15th. Again, so we're having these organizations stress to the bar owners to, hey, send your employees back out. Let's have a soft opening just to get everybody prepared for relaunching of the bars, which I think, right now it's too soon, especially down here in South Texas. Erasmo, how you just mentioned, we're a border city. So, the city of Brownsville, Texas, it's affected us differently because of our neighboring city of Matamoros. So I think the May 15th date for the soft opening of bars is just too soon. We have seen how, the district is adamant about having a graduation and having a graduation within the next 2 weeks.
Crazy.
Which to me, it doesn't make sense. Why not hold off till late July? There's a lot of things going on right now. And to have a graduation to me doesn't seem feasible. All the family coming together. Again, we've heard about the limitations of 2 people, but it just doesn't make sense in regards to having graduation so quickly right now.
And we'll go into graduation and BSD in a bit, but let's continue to try to catch up with the questions. And I'm sorry, I was lagging when we first started, but so I switched computers. Again, technology. Why are there public relations and marketing teams, the county and the city, not doing more, if anything, to spread the word? The problem with the city of Brownsville and the county is that they're each pulling, but instead of pulling together, they're pulling like this. That is why there's great confusion in regards to the numbers. That's why, we're so delayed in getting the numbers. I mean, we only have the mayor out there who is actually trying to, keep individuals informed of what's going on. The rest of the city commission has done basically nothing. Today we had Commissioner Jessica Dutrow, along with the mayor, interview 2, 3, 4, 5 local doctors here in the area. And guys, not to toot our own horn over here, but guys, they could have used a little bit of help in regards to how they handled it. It was just too confusing. A lot of the questions that were being answered were way long-winded. I mean, you couldn't hear a lot of the information that Dr. Ed Hernandez was trying to share. And again, they're not up in their game yet. And it's those times that they need to start to talk to the individuals who have it down packed, have it down right, and start to work together. But the problem is that no one wants to work together. You have the school district kicking the mayor in the teeth, literally kicking the mayor in the teeth. And then yesterday, there were like 5,000 recordings going through the city of Brownsville. Everyone was receiving like thousands of recordings saying, "Oh, we as the district are working well with the city of Brownsville." It's not true. And again, that's what really bothers me, that people know it's not true, guys, because they've been very adamant, very open in regards to their reaction when the mayor and the city commission voted to end the school year by not permitting anyone to go back on campus. It's that simple. So how is it that they want to say now that they're working together? The vaccine is going to be hard to create with all the mutations. That's my concern. It's just so novel. It's moving on forward. That's why we're getting a lot of these different little spikes in different areas or different demographics that we didn't know before. Do you know, Andrea, how the young have been affected up there in y'all's area?
Like the school districts here?
Or the youngest age children? Has anyone tested out there?
Yeah, let me double. I mean, it doesn't say here, but we've had, let's see how many cases. 84, I believe it reads here. Hold on.
It's sad in Mexico they don't have the resources that we have in the U.S. Mexico is barely doing the social distancing. They are weeks behind. Yes.
And they started just a few weeks ago at Erasmo to enforce the face mask. And again, we have seen how countries like Italy, the United States was 2 to 3 weeks behind that. So we've been playing catch up this whole time. So again, for our neighboring city of Matamoros, Tamaulipas, to have that lax approach is really affecting us down here because, again, how I just mentioned, just recently, maybe 2-3 weeks ago, they just started enforcing the facial coverings and the social distancing, and I believe they had like a little shelter in place for certain hours of the day. So we're still lagging behind. So we will see the ramifications of those decisions.
So I checked, it's actually 181 cases of people between the ages of 0 and 18.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a lot of individuals.
Yeah. I know our school district here, if I'm not mistaken, it's actually run through the city, and the superintendent technically reports to our mayor, which is funny because it's like Erasmo's like, yes, I wish we could have that. Right? But the moment that we shut down here, we completely shut it. Well, I think his title is not superintendent but chancellor. He just shut it too. He's like, no, we're done. And they're not doing graduations. I can't remember if they're doing virtual graduations, but this is the DC area. A lot of it intertwines with Maryland and Virginia, but I know that it's not really doing anything like what BISD is pushing for these next coming weeks.
It's crazy. Does anyone know if the Brownsville Public Library on Central Boulevard is open? One of the things that could open was libraries, and I think that they are. You might want to call just to double sure, but I'm almost sure that they are opening it up at some capacity. Not sure. Liliana tiene razón, no solo la temperatura es síntoma. Muy cierto. According to Cuomo, New York's most new virus hospitalizations in New York are from people who stayed home. Yes. Speaks to the efficiency of transmission of this virus. That is 100% correct. Again, there's so much information out there, and it seems like every single day they're coming up with newer information that we hadn't contemplated or even had talked about it before. I think one of the things that I thought was very impressive was how the CDC was gradually, adding on to the different symptoms that showed or that would warn you that you were coming up with a disease out there. I've been helping my relatives in Matamoros. Their jobs have closed down and are without a job. It's sad. We are lucky we live in the United States. Very, very lucky. I mean, you're talking about individuals who are here, at least, receive some type of welfare system or some type of relief just without being in the under COVID-19 times. And you see a lot of little viejitas and a lot of viejitos out there that are working at La Soriana, bagging up the groceries, trying to get a couple of pesos here, a couple of pesos there, or selling chiclets at the bridge. It's not a good thing. Google says that there is 7 types of coronavirus, 4 which are common to humans. I think this one is not common in any which way or form. I'm not sure. There have been findings that the lack of smell and taste appears as soon as 3 or 4 days of contracting the virus. And I think that's one of the signs that we found out about here with the testing that was being done at the sports park. And bottom line is read the Bible. Oh God, no, please, not today. It's Friday. We read the Bible on Sunday, mi compadre. Hey, good evening, Pedro. Tons of conspiracy theories going on. I'm trying to catch up, guys. I'm so sorry. There's just so many comments coming on. But that's a great thing. It's a good problem to have. Good night. Good night. As I work, I answered for 4 of those BIZ robocalls. It was annoying. Good. Yes, it is annoying. Most people that get it never show symptoms. Kawasaki disease. That's the name. I was trying to figure out. That's the with the children, right?
Hey, Erasmo, they should have the superintendent's voice as a robocall.
Oh my Lord.
I would make sure it calls you every day.
No, Eduardo, how you doing, man? Sorry, I know I'm catching up to all these comments. My cousin Matamoros said that their shelter in place was extended to June 15th. She said they have like 150 cases. I think that's very. Library on Central is still closed. Wow, awesome. Thank you, Leah. Most people are getting the virus and getting better. Very few have complications or pass away. I would say I will repeat the words of Papi Trump. One person passing away is too many. If the people who contracted the virus and sent home, isolated, of course, the rest of the family has a very high percentage of getting infected. That's why a lot of new cases were during the stay-at-home shelter. That makes sense. Guys, we caught up. Thank you. That's one of the issues about technology, guys. And one of the issues about technology, sometimes you just have to play catch up with it. And again, it's no one's fault. I think one of the things that we have to understand is that we're all on that learning curve. Even individuals who are well versed in regards to technology, are having to skip over those different little bumps and get used to it. And it is what it is. That plus, you have a lot of people now, I would say, more on their phones and on their internet, on their Wi-Fi more than ever before. At this amount of time on Friday night, I would probably be out watching a movie at Cinemark theaters at the mall. Not happening. It's not.
Burger.
And probably to sleep at Whataburger. No, that comes later on, like at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Too soon.
I love watching y'all hearing everything while drinking a 32 ounce of milk.
Hey, Miller should sponsor us. Miller High Life, if you're listening. Shout out.
Guys, you're going to get me in trouble. Dr. Mazzini diagnosed her, though under doctors could not help. So, hey, Xochitl! I love Xochitl. Kowalski is easy, treasy. That's great for those kids. I gotta give us a bring. Guys, in regards to technology, that's one of the things I think that a lot of teachers are basically saying that they're having a lot of issues with. They're having a lot of issues with because of a large amount of work that's being placed upon them. And again, my concern and with all this workload that's being placed on the teachers, and people say, pues para eso les pagan y que that's work y lo que tú quieras. But I don't think they're being compensated suffice to outweigh the mental anguish, the anxiety, the stress. And, it's not just the stress, anxiety of the teachers. It's also their families, and a lot of them have children and they have little viejitos. What's your take on teachers being overpaid?
You overpaid or underpaid?
Underpaid. Overpaid.
I'm like, overpaid? That's great. Oh, overpaid.
Yeah.
There has never been, at least from what I've seen, enough salaries given, at least in BISD, given that we're the largest district in the valley or south of San Antonio, enough salary, in my opinion, for teachers. There's been too much for administrators, but not enough for teachers. And in times like these, I've heard from friends that are teachers, from former teachers of mine, that they've put in a lot of work. I can't speak on their behalf, right? But I know that their testimonials to me really have shown that they've gone above and beyond, and they really deserve, to be given the time to really brainstorm how the fall will look, which is something that right now school districts and even universities are not. Well, universities are starting to, but school districts like BISD are not considering. And honestly, if they don't use the summer wisely, it can be detrimental, and people don't realize it. In my opinion, they don't realize how like the fall might end up starting virtual, and how is that going to look, right? We don't know because no one's planning it. And why isn't no one planning it? Because they want the teachers back in physically at the schools. Now, I understand. I am one worker that I wish I could be back physically in my office. I can't be. And I know the teachers probably want to do that too. Okay, but find a system to rotate them if the teachers want to go back inside. But don't expose the students, right? So there's a lot of back and forth. But as far as payments go, teachers deserve way more. And I'm sure a lot of parents realize it now that they have their kids at home and they're like, oh, now we know all the hard work these teachers really give to our kids every single day. So, but yep.
Well, one of the things that I think that my friend out here, Mr. Vegas, Juan Carlos is mentioning is, where are our stipends? You know, and it's kind of funny because even the technology stipend that we were promised, teachers have not yet to receive it. And I mean, it was very, very minimal in comparison to the stipend that was being received by other school districts that are way smaller than we are, that have a smaller budget than we are. And those districts like San Benito, they paid all their employees a $500 bonus on the fly within 2 days.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing because we are the largest district south of San Antonio, as Andrea says. We should lead. We should set the example. People should be looking at us for direction. And I'm sorry, any district out there that is looking at our district for direction is going to be stuck on a sinking ship. It's just really very, very important. Teachers teach students how to make real money.
I agree. There should be a finance management course in a high school.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these kids are graduating with not knowing the reality and the truth and doing their own taxes, etc. But that's another conversation.
Well, actually, I think one of the things that should be entrepreneurs classes, how to prepare your income tax classes. What form of government we have in the city of Brownsville. What is government? We're working at home, John White, more hours than ever before. 100%. Typings, what's that? Teachers don't only teach the children, they also help in caring for them all day and most of the year, underpaid.
Yeah.
We need to support our teachers so that when that they get much better on executing on virtual learning. Else the COVID slide in the student achievement will put us behind versus other countries. And let me tell you, my fear is that we're going to be falling behind out of everything out there. I know you are, but why can't you be at the school? Again, and I understand John's comment. John, can't be at the school because they closed down the campuses. They closed down the school year. And there's a lot of work that can be done at home and should be done at home for individuals that want to have that option to work at home. Now, my problem with the system, John, is that when you tell me, when you try to whitewash things and tell me, hey, it's voluntary, you really don't have to go, and then you find out that the superintendent was lying to teachers and it really was never voluntary, it was you do it or else, then it sort of becomes kind of like a slap in the face for me, because, we're out here saying like, well, maybe they're finally going to start to act the right way towards the teachers and, pay them correctly and give them the respect that they deserve, especially during this time. But instead of doing that, they start adding on more anxiety, more stress. And again, I don't know if you know this, but, when we first started on here, we were out there and we were saying, hey, guys, these are issues. We should just end the school year now, because I was seeing it in other parts of the country. End the school year now, and BISD refused. Y se amacharon, no lo hacemos, no lo vamos a hacer.
Yeah.
And I actually got some backlash from some teachers. Some teachers, were out there saying, oh, Erasmo's crazy. How can we end the school year? We have to continue. And I got several messages from several teachers like, Erasmo, they told me, Erasmo, 2 weeks ago, we thought you were crazy. We thought you were nuts. We wanted to continue with this. Now that we've been at this for 2 weeks and the way we've been treated, you were right. We need to end the school year now. Is that part of the sentiment that you're getting from teacher friends or former teachers?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I was following you all. I've been following you all as much as I can recently, but I followed you all at the beginning, and I know that Upper Valley school districts, which are way smaller, were the first ones to start really implementing a no more school year, and BISD was like lagging, and it's like my grandma says, se le subían las hormigas y se le bajan, and it's like cuando me dé la gana, and it's like, no, you're putting in danger all of these teachers and students and staff. And apart from that, like they're waiting on the governor to say, okay, no more start testing. Then why in the world are you making these teachers and students go back to any extent or considering making them do homework of any level, right? If you're gonna shut it down, yes, continue activities, but start implementing how next year's gonna look. Because I bet you start testing is not going to be the same next year.
No,
it's not. And I'm not saying it'll probably be canceled because the state of Texas is not going to like that, but they'll probably implement technology with the start testing. And some of these students don't have access to it. Some of these students are still not literate in technology, even in today's world. And how are you going to make sure these students succeed and pass on to the next level? So, start testing I was actually the last generation that did tax. So I was kind of lucky in that. But I know start testing is more rigorous and it requires a lot of things. I have cousins that still take it. And it's a lot of pressure on them and on the educators. So
it is. And again, all it does, it adds more stress to a very stressful situation. And a lot of I know a lot of the comments from some of the individuals out here are saying like, well, that's what they get paid for. No, man, they don't get paid. No one gets paid for dealing with what we're dealing with at the at a world level at all. Teacher salaries are a joke, and Frank is correct. And it's just I'm amazed when they have so many opportunities to start doing things right and to start correcting a lot of things that they've done wrong. And it seems like at every turn of the way, the district seems to be fighting us more than wanting to do the right thing. And I mean, it really boggles my mind. It literally boggles my mind that they are given these opportunities to do the right thing or to start going a different path, and they just completely screw it up. I'll give you an example. Graduation. We're talking about graduation. Guys, I try to explain to our students out there, graduation is not going to be the graduation that y'all have in mind. A lot of people have a graduation in mind where they están todos juntos, tiran el sombrero, that little cap, and they all get together, they are hugging, they're taking pictures. And according to the guidelines given up by the governor, that's not going to happen. Mm-hmm. It's going to be the students 6 feet apart, both ways, which will probably fill out for some of the schools most of the Sam Stadium on the field. And then you're going to have only two individuals per graduate.
Yeah, so I'll give you an idea of what might end up happening if it's not already happening. So with UTRGV, I'm a graduate of UTRGV. There's a lot of injustices I don't like about the university, but we can go on that on another day. The point is that there came a point where UTRGV started to make it has two commencements. It has one in the Edinburgh campus and it has one in Brownsville. There came a point, however, a couple semesters ago where they started moving they actually moved the Brownsville one to the Harlingen Convention Center or something, some big complex in Harlingen. However, what it did is that it restricted the people who typically would be, and that are typically of the Brownsville area because they graduate in the Lower Valley. It restricted them to only having like 4 or 5 tickets for their graduation.
Right.
So a lot of students, and I see on these Facebook pages, they were like, hey, can anyone sell me an extra ticket? I have an extra family member that can't, that wants to go, that can't go. Or, you're going to start seeing people unfortunately want to profit through that and want to give away tickets. I don't know how the ticket system is going to work in BISD, so that's going to be an issue. And it's just at the end of the day going to be restricted to unfortunately not having your whole family. But that's something that, in today's times, I'm sorry, seniors, but you're going to get through it. And for those of you that are going to college, trust me, your college graduation will be way more memorable. But for now, just try your best to really, if they tell you at that graduation to keep certain rules, keep that rule. Stay that distance apart. Don't be hugging people. Do that elbow bump or whatever the case is. Keep your social distance, because otherwise, in 2 weeks, it's not going to be pretty.
Well, Eduardo, and to answer your question, the last numbers that we received was that they're only going to be two per people. And again, one of the concerns in regards to that was a parent reached out. He goes, "Well, I'm the stepmother, of one of a graduate." He goes, "I've been with the kid for many years. If there's only going to be two people out, how is that going to happen? How is that going to help for parents that have their two household parents? That the dad has a wife, the wife has a husband. What's going to happen to those students? That what are they going to exclude their step parents? Are they going to shun one of the parents and not permit them to go? It's a PR disaster, guys. It's going to be a PR disaster any which way you look at it, or it's going to be a health-wise disaster, or it's going to be just the start of another wave, another tidal wave, tsunami coming and hitting us, with a lot of these individuals coming out positive later on during the second wave, which should be, according to experts, might be worse than the first one. Now, with that said, we all see the numbers. What happened when the county started to ease the restrictions in regards to the beach?
Yeah.
Everyone
went to the beach.
It's crazy.
And one thing that's going to be interesting, Adria and Erasmo, is how is a district planning on enforcing the social distancing? Again, if we have two invites per graduate, let's say there's a graduating class of 500, that's 1,000 people. Who's going to be enforcing them in the bleachers? Who's going to be enforcing them on the the students on the field? What's the process going to be like when they walk into the stadium? Are they going to be screening them with a thermometer? If they don't have masks, will they be there giving masks? Will they be there giving hand sanitizer? It's just so many questions in regards to this. And either way, if they do this, I personally wouldn't, because of the health concern that has been going on. Again, it's been apparent that the school district hasn't worked in tandem with the city and county officials. We've been hearing time and time again in regards to their different stance on opening up, closing the schools. Who has that authority? So again, it's going to look bad. What's going to happen in July or August? Or shortly after the graduation? What if we get a high spike in numbers? Are people's lives going to be affected? Is there a possibility of a lawsuit of a family who threatens the district for exposing their child or their family? So there's a lot of questions, a lot of concerns, and it's unfortunate that the school district is adamant on having this graduation when we see from all over the world, and most importantly here locally, we're still dealing with this virus. Again, just to reiterate, we had a 5-year-old child in New York that died from complications due to COVID. Our numbers in Cameron County are 500 after 4 or 5 weeks. They're only going to get worse, and it's not helping us locally that the school district is encouraging and having graduations with hundreds, if not thousands, of people present, possibly spreading this disease.
Val's right. Teachers are going to be asked to be ushers.
They're going to be allocating more resources, or they're going to end up spending more resources in the whole logistics of it if they actually are planning it to do it the healthy way and the more cautious way, than actually doing a virtual graduation and maybe consider doing this until July. But
Well, they have several options. I mean, they have the option to do it later in June, earlier in July to give a little bit more time in regards to see where the numbers are at. My best option, for me, the better deal is to have a parade type of
yeah,
graduation where you have individuals in their own car with their own family, and just have a ticker tape parade from Sam Stadium all the way down International. You just close it up for 7 days. I mean, guys, it could be a great excuse in order to sort of encourage individuals to stay at home. Practice social distancing. They're going to be in their cars. People can line up separate throughout the way to say hi or salute to their graduate. They could be sitting on top of the car with a mask, whatever. But a drive-by, a parade type of graduation seemed to make a lot more sense to me. People have lost focus. Not being done to punish it is to keep students and family members safe. I mean, the only way to keep them safe is by not having a graduation the way they are going to have it.
But my last sarcastic comment on BISD, Erasmo, it does not take a logical person to earn 350K.
Hey, keep them coming. Keep them coming.
Thank you. I'll be here all day.
Teachers are going to be asked for concessions 100%. No cavity searches. I hope not. Might have to make the line twice. How many of these new positive cases are severely ill, mildly ill? Well, I don't think that information is shared with us. I mean, I don't know I know that I heard that que lo hagan más tarde. I sort of agree. I know that a lot of individuals, when they were asked in regards to how many individuals were at the hospital, they stated that was information they could not share with anyone because of HIPAA or a HIPPO. I'm not sure which one it was. It was one of those, they could not share. What if a student is infected and then comes home and infects the whole? That's the concern. Again, guys, that is the concern. And again, a lot of the students out there, look, guys, it's hard enough. How are you going to keep students from social distancing when they haven't seen their friends for a long time? It might be one of the last opportunities they get to see their friends. There's not going to be very much social distancing, folks. And unfortunately for a lot of the families, these individuals will be taking this back home and, taking it back home to grandpa and grandma and, not being a great thing. No más que lleven mask y no dejen entrar al stadium al que no lleve mask. Well, that's one of the things that they're supposed to be doing. But again, Doris, what's the point? El problema, and I'll say this in Spanish, el problema es de que muchas personas tienen en su mente una graduación, porque las que han vivido, las del primo, las que siempre han deseado tener. The reality is we're not going to have a graduation like many individuals have had in previous years before. Now, why is it a PR disaster? Because you're not going to have people happy out there. No one is going to be happy out there, folks. So basically, you're going to get a lot of backlash. No one is going to be happy because you're going to be restricting individuals. You're going to be constantly telling people to stay away. You're going to be wearing masks. The students are going to be wearing masks. It's going to be hot. People are only going to be allowed to take 2 individuals. It's a PR disaster. A PR disaster. Now, part of the comments that were made by Mike Morath, my compadre up there, Commissioner of Education, was, we want to celebrate, the achievements. That's fine. Be creative. Find a different way to celebrate. Why are you wanting to celebrate where you can't control the situation and are going to be placing the community's health and well-being at risk? Why? It doesn't make any sense to me. Be creative. Try to find a different way. Ahora, at the end of the day, folks, if it's your kid that's graduating, find a special way for you to celebrate that achievement with the people that he truly loves. But don't go out to the stadium with 2,000-3,000 people. And someone asked in regards to are we allowed to assemble? Well, they're going to do it no matter what. They do not care. They do not care, and it's going to be a disaster. You can't even eliminate social distancing over at Porter today between officials and students. Roman's correct. It's not happening, folks. It's not.
Iron Man.
We will never have everyone happy. But it's your health you're gambling with. Entiendan. There will be time for everything. It at a given. Alma's right, and something that Andrea mentioned is very, very true, guys. High school graduation is high school graduation. Your college graduation, that's the kicker, guys. That's the one, man. And I mean, hope to God that by next year they'll find a, a cure or something to fight off the virus or something in a year or in 18 months. And maybe we could, in 4 years, go out and celebrate everyone's graduation from college or from technical school, from anywhere else they're going. The board president said in 3 weeks, everything might go away. She's a nut. She is dumb. She thinks it's a hoax. A hoax. We have 2 deaths today, guys. 2 deaths in Cameron County. And Minerva still thinks it's a hoax. Our numbers are continuing to go up. And the board president still thinks it'll magically go away in 3 weeks.
It's not. Show her the numbers 2 weeks after her graduations. See what she says then.
The problem is that they're not going to care. They're not going to care. And what happens is, you see, the port, el $375,000 superintendent doesn't realize they're setting them up to be the scapegoat.
So I have an advice for the seniors graduating. As someone that works in higher education, I work for the University of Texas system. So go Longhorns, go Vaqueros, go all of the UT schools. Pretty much, if you have the ability right now to say that you can defer attending school for another year at that school that you chose to, if your scholarship allows it, if you are okay with it and your major allows it, etc., do it, but start your basics at a community college nearby, whether it's TSC or STC, and make sure that those credits transfer. And I'll tell you why. Because it'll really benefit you, 1, financially, and 2, in your health, especially if you have that ability to do it. If you have the flexibility to do it. I'm not saying you have to. I'm not saying it's highly, highly recommended and we're pushing for it. No. If you're able to and have the flexibility to do it, consider it. Why? Because again, financially, it will benefit you for that first year to not gap years. Yes, I read there, puro gap years. No, not gap years. You'll be using your first year to be doing your basics, which a lot of you, I don't know if you've been really accumulating a lot of them through your early college, high school experience. But if you haven't, a lot of those basics can come from these community colleges and they could save you money, which, trust me, in the long term, you will thank me for this advice. So if you're able to, do it. If you're not able to, just make sure you measure every single little cent to save up in order for you to move to, whether it's Austin, San Antonio, if it's outside the state, whatever the case is. But that's my best advice as a higher ed administrator.
I agree. And again, guys, make sure that you're reaching out to your different colleges and, see what programs, what resources they're offering for individuals. And I like that in regards to them deferring and waiting off for a year and stuff. It's great, and it won't affect your scholarship in any way, shape, or form. I mean, that's all information that you could get from your colleges, your universities out there. Please keep them in the loop of everything that's going on, guys. This is important. See, that it's better to be spending this time focused on that than focused on something that's already done. You've already graduated. I mean, they just have to mail you your diploma. You're done. You're a graduate. Because Erasmo said so. So you've graduated, guys.
You're a graduate. Congratulations.
Congratulations, guys. I'm available for pictures. Guys, I remembered what I was trying to say this morning that I completely forgot. Se me fue de la mente. So I want to mention it now before I forget again, since we're already at the hour. Guys, take into consideration that nothing is going to be how it used to be before, probably ever again in our lives, ever. Because we are all affected by COVID-19 in one way, shape, or form or other. And we'll probably, because of the irresponsible actions of a lot of our elected officials, a lot because of the stupidity of the school board and the superintendent, is that we might be hit really, really extra hard come the fall, come next year. My concern this morning, and I actually was thinking about it last night, was we already know about the sporting events. We already know that a lot of the major sporting events out there, que eso para board member, you better believe it. Guys, a lot of the sporting events, they're already thinking, let's talk about football. They're already planning to start the season in August, Frankie, in August. But they're already making some concessions. There will be no fans in the stands. They will just have football. And besides that, individuals are going to be tested as they go into play, right? These are precautions that are being seen as a way to sort of bring back our football. Now, what about our high schools? Has anyone thought about our high schools? What's going to happen? Well, I'm going to say that the sports programs, the UIL, are going to be pushed into early next year, if at all. But the schools don't have the resources here to test every single football player, every single baseball, basketball player, right before each game. They don't have the resource. We don't have the resources to test our people now. Do you think we're going to have the resources to be testing every single athlete out there? Wait, it gets worse. Let me read this. All these numbers are probably people that decided to get together from Easter. I agree with Alma. Next will be the people who decided to have another spring break last week. I agree with Alma. And then it will be the ones celebrating Mother's Day. I agree with Alma. And then we're going to have the ones that are out there celebrating the graduation. I agree with Alma. Stick a fork in it. Call it macaroni. Guys, this is my concern. Because I was thinking about the UIL. What about band? Has anyone thought about band? I mean, are we going to have band in August? I mean, look at how our bands sit together to practice. They're all together in this little group. Are we going to have band? Then I started to think about choir. You know, you have everyone on the stands standing together close by. They practice like that. I've been a member of choir for many years. What's going to happen to our fine arts department? There won't be any more plays.
Well, I think my opinion on that, just quickly, the band and music, you have the ability of technology. I've seen nowadays how a lot of people use technology to do like performances. They can practice through that. It's the ones that really involve touch that can be detrimental to the school districts that really depend on activities that involve touch, like sports. You can't play sports virtually, right? But the band and the choir, they have a little bit more hope. They can conduct those online. There can still be scholarships through those programs, which are a big plus. But the sports, I'm not that sure.
Chess. Well, this is part of the issue, Andrea. We're not prepared.
No.
I mean, one of the things that has been very, very clear. I mean, we had technology issues when we started tonight. One of the things that has been made very, very clear is that they are not prepared. They're not prepared for the COVID-19, and nobody could prepare. I understand that. They're not prepared for the summer, and they are resisting starting to get prepared for fall of 2020, 2021. And again, guys, I'm amazed, and I saw like the mariachi from Roma. I'm amazed. Awesome. They were awesome, guys. You know, I'm amazed that a smaller little district had the capability to do that. We're the richest district south of San Antonio. Has it even been brought up? It's concerning. I have not seen one of our groups out there. You know, where's that leadership? Drama is just going to be monologues. You know, and that's going to be great. I mean, I like all forms of theater. The only board member that loves their band and choir program is thank you.
Cheese.
The cheese. Amen, brother. I love you all. I love you, brother. You know that. Con todo el practice que están haciendo los teams con su PS4 and Xbox, que hagan las schools virtual tournaments. That's not such a bad idea. Let me tell you. That's actually, I mean, let me tell you, you'd be getting a lot of. What about Stilettos? I think Stilettos is still closed. That's going to be my guess. Golfers going to be the biggest men on campus. Chess players can bow like in China. Well, yeah, chess already started different things. Maybe not in Brownsville. I'm a part of it already. Royal, anyone needs some chess lessons? Contact Royal. Be my friend, Susie. Drone racing. Frankie, anything else tonight?
No, thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you, Andrea, for coming on live with us from Washington D.C. It's always good to get somebody from Brownsville living in a different area just to see their, how they're doing in their current situation. We should do this. We should do this more often. Thank you for agreeing to appear. In regards to our current situation, again, we've had 2 deaths. 22 in the county. We just got word that a 4-month-old baby has contracted the virus. Again, Harlingen is leading the county in number of deaths and the number of positives. We are getting word again that HEB employees at the Gucci at the 802 and Central Boulevard locations have tested positive. Again, so this virus is not going away anytime soon. Be careful out there. Use every and all precautions when you're out in public. It's unfortunate to see pictures of people still not wearing masks or not taking every step necessary to try and prevent this from spreading.
Where's your mask, Frankie?
I have it here. I have it here.
Look at this, Erasmo. No mask.
It's my signature. I'll bring it back. I'll bring it back. And again, we just recently got word that a 5-year-old earlier today, a 5-year-old from New York died from complications due to the COVID-19 virus. Again, thank you for tuning in, guys. Let's take every and all precautions to try and mitigate this very contagious virus.
Andrea, any last words?
Cheese for Prez. Just kidding. No, thank you both for having me. Seniors, the best advice I can give you is plan wisely. You have hopefully parent support. You have support through your teachers, through your counselors. Plan wisely. The universities are trying to coordinate as fast as they can to make sure that they have some fall planning, some idea of how your fall will look by the summer. So the sooner you get to outreach to your future alma maters, the sooner you will benefit from having a great experience in college. So best of luck. Best of luck to everyone. Please stay safe. I love Brownsville. I miss it. If I could be eating tacos, I would, but I can't. And hopefully I'll be there by the end of the year.
Thank you, Andrea. It's always great to see you. Guys, thank you all so much for tuning in. Sorry for the little technical glitches that we're experiencing. It's just technology. Hopefully by tomorrow at 9 o'clock in the morning, we'll have that done and over with. I want to thank Ultimo Taco for sending me a shirt.
Hey, I want a shirt.
They sent me a shirt, a taco shirt. Thank you.
I want some tacos and a shirt too. I'll give you my address. Just kidding.
They love the cheese. Andrea, your comments about personal finance really resonated. I teach a TSE business class, and my students are not prepared coming into class. Amen, brother. Thank you, Antonio.
Next, he seems pretty cool.
Yeah, Frankie, reach out to Antonio, Frankie. That'd be great. Yes, John. Send me a text message or send me an inbox so I can put the address again. I know you sent it to me one time, but it's in all those messages. Send me the address. I'll be out there this weekend. You let me know, man. Guys, have a great rest of the evening. Tomorrow morning, go hit up Big E's Smokehouse for some barbacoa, smoked barbacoa. Guys, support local business. They still need our help. Guys, thank you all so much for everything tonight. God bless. Hasta mañana. Tomorrow, 9 a.m. in the morning.